1-2 right now after 3 weeks. I mean, how big of a hole do you think that is, or do you not even think that's much of a hole for this team?
I feel like the way we performed was a huge hole, but it's still the beginning of the season. You got a lot of work to do, and you just got to execute.
Lamar, I think you were sacked 7 times tonight. That rarely happens with you. What were you seeing back there that was causing problems?
Man, them guys were doing stunts, and they had a spy, and sometimes the spy was grabbing my leg, and that's just what it was. Guys they were dropping in coverage. Got 3 safeties back there, and I'm just not finna throw a Hail Mary ball. I'm gonna read the coverage out and then try to make something happen.
Lamar, you've seen spies a lot over your career. A lot of teams have done that. Did the Lions do something that was a little bit different from what other teams have done in the past?
Nah, they were just executing. That's all it was. They just executed.
Lamar, can you just walk us through maybe that sequence? You guys just have the ball down on the 1-yard line. Derek gets stopped a couple times, and then the sack, obviously. Just the difficulty of not converting those type of situations, and what kind of went wrong there?
I can't tell you what went wrong. We just didn't score, and that rarely happens. And I feel like we just got to put points on the board right there in that situation. We're on the 1-yard line. We right there in the end zone. I feel like we got to punch in, find a way to punch in.
Lamar, I know every time you touch the ball, you want to score. Absolutely. But when you see the other team having their success in the long drives, do you feel that puts even more pressure on the offense to score at all?
Like you said, every time we're on the field, I feel like we should score. So I feel like that's just pressure regardless. That's our job to put points on the board. I'm not looking at the other team. Probably look at the time of possession. Like, okay, we got to put points on the board here. But no, I don't feel like we should be in panic mode or nothing like that. Just do the same thing when we get our opportunity. Drive the ball down the field like we always do. Put points on the board. But at the same time, we were scoring pretty fast sometimes, and those guys were milking the clock. So in a way, we had to hurry up.
Mark, do you feel like this
Derek's fumble in the fourth quarter was a pretty key play in the game, and we saw him on the sideline really upset. I mean, what do you say to him after that play and that sequence, and what's the team's faith in
Just
Derek right now?
I don't let it go. We had like 6 minutes and a half left in the game, when that situation happened. And our defense did a great job, stopping those guys, and we just got to find a way to drive the ball down the field and score, right away, because we were still in the game. It wasn't like it was a blowout or nothing like that.
Do you see this as a wake-up call or a shock to the system or whatever you want to call it for the entire team, and how do you expect everybody to respond this week?
I feel like week 1 was a wake-up call. Not just this loss. Week 1 was a wake-up call. Last week was a wake-up call, because we started off slow last week, and we got beat tonight. Lions had a great game plan. I feel like offense and defense for those guys played great. We just got to find a way to win.
2 more.
Appreciate you.